family is Lisa here at Embassy Pictures and your own voice lead from within. It's Friday today, guys. I hope you guys are all excited for the weekend. Please do let me know what you guys are up to for the weekend. So for me, I'm spending time with my family. Um, I'll go to church on Saturday, Sunday, and then church again. I just pop in for 1 hour on Saturday. We are on our break for choir, so I just go with the flow with whatever everyone is doing. Just try to fit my time between everybody. So today we're talking about first, if it is your first time at Ngosi Talk Shows, we talk about finding your own voice, lead from within. Finding your own voice in a relationship in every area of your life. That's what Ngosi Talk Shows is about. And I myself am a love harmonist. So today we're talking about navigating conflict in a relationship. Conflict is a natural part of any relationship, guys. Whether it's with your spouse, whether with your friend, whether with your family members, or colleagues. How we approach and resolve this conflict can make the difference between a stronger bond and unresolved tensions. So healthy conflict resolution requires self-awareness, it requires empathy and effective communication. So today I'm going to guide you how to navigate conflict step by step, empowering you to address the differences constructively while persevering in a relationship. Some people in a relationship, when they are arguing, wherever you go, conflict is always going to be there relationship-wise. So we need to learn how to navigate it. And also, everything you do with empathy, love, it can be resolved. But if there is no care, there is no love, there is no, if that person has unforgiveness within, the fighting will be fighting like I don't care, because they'll be wanting to win the fight. So it's not about winning. When we do conflict, it's not about winning, and it's not about who is best. Relationship, any exciting relationship, it comes with the conflict, and then we have to know how to solve the conflict and with care. So let's dive into the topic, guys. And first, you have to acknowledge the conflict. Recognize that conflict is happening instead of ignoring it. And also be honest about your feelings, the impact of the situation. Create a safe place where both parties feel comfortable discussing the issue. So what happens when sometimes the people hide their feelings. For me, I will say to you guys, if you're that person who pretends that everything is okay, while it's not okay, that means the relationship will not work, whether it's a friendship, intimacy, family. Never ever pretend. If you truly, truly love someone, never ever pretend that you're okay if you're not. Because when you do pretend, when all comes out, it comes out with the blame. It comes out with the feeling where you feel the other person doesn't care. But at the same time, if that person doesn't know what is going on, guys, I've been in relationship where you date someone, and that person will go and tell other people how they feel, but you, the person that you're dating, they don't talk to you. And at the end of the day, they blame you. But at the end of the day, how can you blame me for something that I don't know, something that I don't understand? Because if you speak to somebody and say, listen, this is how I'm feeling. When this happened, this is how I feel. Not like blaming, this is how I feel. So that person will stop everything they do and they'll listen to solve the problem. So it's really, really important. When you are resolving conflict, to actually first understand that, okay, the conflict is happening. So, okay, here the person that is bringing the conflict. Sometimes there might be a conflict while there isn't a problem. Some people, they may assume that there is a problem, or they may feel that they are not being heard. They may feel that they are being misunderstood. But it is okay. There is no wrong or right. It is okay. How you feel, never ever make it wrong. Whatever you feel in your life, don't make it wrong. Or say how, or make the other person wrong. They have, in order for any relationship to move forward, hearing someone is the critical component of how that relationship is able to work. So it's like, I hear you. So how can I save you better moving forward? It's acknowledging everything and surrendering everything. Surrendering everything that you think you know about the person and saying, okay, I hear you. How can I serve you moving forward? And then let that person tell you how they want you to serve you, to say how they want you to serve them. If sometimes they are asking things that themselves cannot do, you also have to be honest. You really need to be honest in the communication. Communicate about fighting. For me personally, I don't like somebody who hides their feelings and they lead me along the way, making me think that everything is okay, why things are not okay. Because if you do that, then that brings unhappiness within that person. They become unhappy. They get into mental health problems. So I don't want you to enter, and I'm sure the person you date, they don't want you, or your friends or your family, I'm sure they don't want you to enter in a mental state where you get into depression without letting them know how you feel. So I like somebody who explain and remember the things that we cannot do that destroys people's life is assuming that you know what's going on, blaming. Those things, you got to take it away. You got to actually write them off. If you want to solve conflict properly, never solve a conflict. Blaming, assuming, making you wrong, making the other person wrong. Never ever do that. It's no, it's not good. It's not good for your health, and it's not good for the other person's health. So whatever you do when you're solving conflict, always solve a conflict with grace. Just talk to the person, trying to understand what is going on. Sometimes 99%, you may find that whatever is going on is not you. For me, I have this problem. Whenever there is a problem, before I can blame anyone, I always check in with myself to look at how is Mensa getting on, how does Mensa feel before I can solve any problem. Or sometimes I go, or the first thing that I have to do is I have to take off the judgment, and I have to, in my heart, I have to bring God in it. I was telling in my heart that I cannot do this on my own. So I need your guidance. Because there are some things, guys, whether you like it or not, there's some fight. You cannot fight. Some fight are bigger than I. That's how I believe that there are fights in relationships that are bigger than I. So in those fights, I believe that sometimes I can't solve them. Only God can solve them. I don't know about you, but that's my belief. And that's what I understand, that there are some things that for me as a person that I find them, they're bigger than I. And being bigger than I, the only person that can solve it and give me guidance is God. Sometimes it could be, sometimes you could be having conflict because of bloodline iniquity. Because if your heart inside and there is unresolved pain, if there is unresolved pain in your heart, that pain can affect the relationship around you. So that's why this bloodline is called the bloodline iniquity. Or maybe your parents have gone through pain. That pain goes, that pain that is inside of your bloodline is inside of your parents. That pain can be inside of you, it can be afflicted inside of you, in your bones, in your blood. So whoever hangs around with you, they can feel that pain. And that pain can cause a conflict because it needs to be resolved. So sometimes myself, whenever I see myself coming across like arguing with people or in a relationship, or the relationship is not working how I want, I stop everything. I don't confront that relationship. I deal with my pain. So I have my pastors that I work with that know how to deal with pain. So I go and find maybe their videos, how to deal with bloodline iniquity. I go to Pastor James, I go to Dr. Hoya, I deal with the bloodline iniquity. And I find when I do that, it opens doors. Actually, sometimes it will show me that actually it's not me that has a problem, it's the other person. But then I have to silently pray for them. But if you don't know, you will blame people, but me, I don't. So how can you move forward? Like I said before, number two, you have first, number one, acknowledge the conflict. Number two, pause and reflect. And this, which is what I just mentioned, like I do. Avoid reacting impulsively. Take a moment to calm your emotions. Reflect on your feelings. How you respond to every conflict is the critical component of how your relationship and the other relationships are able to work, whether it's business, whether it's personal. So all these things are truly, truly important. The root cause of the conflict, what was it? And what outcome do you want? Consider the other person's perspective before responding. It's really, really important. Never, ever, ever judge anybody or assume anything. When it comes to relationship, guys, I've learned this the hard way. Never assume that you know the person. Never assume that you know what the person is going through, because we don't. We don't. The reason why I am saying this, guys, I hear people saying, I've been married with this person for a very long time. I know them very well. But I can tell you my own experience that no matter how long you've been married to somebody, you don't know them. You got to have the mindset of wanting to grow with them each and every single day. Because when you get into a mind where you say, I know the person, that means you don't. Because what the person is feeling, who they are, is between them and God. Never ever say you know the person because you don't, or you know how they feel because you don't. I have an idea, but I'm going to ask them how they are feeling at this moment. I'm not going to assume that I know this person and know what they are going through. When they behave like this, that means that is putting a judgment, that is putting assumptions. And that's why a relationship will never work. If you put the assumptions, ask the person. And once you get the answer, you can work on that answer. I have an idea. I've been married to this person for a very long time. I have an idea, but at this moment, I'm just going to go in. I'm going to ask them. And that is taking away the frustration. Honey, what's going on? Tell me. Never assume that you know what is going on with the person. I've gone through challenges in my life, and I meet people, and people, they'll think that they know what's going on with my life. They'll tell me what they think of me. Sometimes the good things, sometimes the bad things, sometimes they will insult me. But actually, me, what I'm thinking, I'm just having that joyful moment in my heart. I'm having the moment of my life. Gratitude with God, gratitude of having my family. But you find them assuming so many things that they think what they think, or sometimes they'll put labels. Mom say you are this, mom say you are that, putting labels. But a smart person, if you are that person who is smart, you will ask the manufacturer, honey, how do I save you right now? How can I save you better? How can I save you better? And then once you have that idea, that person will then explain to you how they feel. And once you know how they feel, and then moving forward, you can resolve the conflict, whatever is going on in that person's life. There was a time when I was surrounded with this person. Me, I am somebody who don't judge the person. So when I met this person, how they welcomed me in their lives, it was amazing. So I got to know this person, and then something went wrong along the way. Their lives started going wrong, but the behavior did not change. By everyone who thought the behavior is changed. I'm just sharing you this story, guys, so you can understand. But then I became suspicious because the person that I have met is a woman. The person that I have met wasn't the person that I was seeing, but then I became suspicious. And everybody else had made assumptions that she's doing this because of this, she's doing this because of this. But I became very, very suspicious. When someone related to me, I became really, really suspicious. And I kept saying, God, when I met this person, that's not who they were. I'm not going to assume what I know, but show me what is going on. I kept seeking for answers. I kept seeking for answers. When I meet somebody that knows this person and they'll tell me how much this person needs attention, how much this person wants this, how much this person needs. But I kept seeking for answers. It was the time when Lucifer came forward. It was how I found out that I was under human blood sacrifice because this person was around me. So everything, it was like the problem, that thing was trying to chase it away, changing her behavior. But for me, because I never judge anyone from a very young age, me, I just listen. Even sometimes when adults are talking, I'll pretend as I'm not listening, but I'm listening. So that's when I realized actually not what everyone thought it was. That was that. But if I had gone along with everybody, thinking that I know this person, but I said to God, something is not right. When I met this person, they were this. But show me what is going on. So that's how there was a revelation. So everything just went that way. So I'm sharing this story with you guys because when people date people, they assume, families assume that they know the person, but they don't. Trust me, there's so many people who have families where they will actually cast out their family members or like destroy their family members because they think their family members have wronged them. But when I enter that conversation and I start asking questions, you find that person actually has genuine problems that they need support. But because we very, human beings, we are very judgmental. And it happens in relationship as well, that we judge each other a lot. And this is when it becomes very exciting. Whether you are white, whether you're black, this is where Lucifer comes in now to destroy. He'll be like, he knows that a human being, it takes 1 second for a human being to sell out another human being. 1 second. I can turn against, if I'm married, I can turn against my husband just like that. He can use me to turn against my husband just like that during conflict. So whatever you do it with empathy. Stop, reflect, know where God has brought you out of. Understand how you met this person, whether it's a family member's blood is important. Bloodline is more important, guys. If someone is your blood, always care for them. Even in the Bible, turning against your family members is death. When it says when you don't talk to your parents, the judgment is death. When you don't talk to your siblings, the judgment is death. That's what God says in the Bible. So what you need to do is, if you feel that there's conflict or there's something you don't understand, go with care. Every behavior has a problem behind it. Every behavior, whatever is going on, there is something that has triggered that to happen. Never ever say, before I went through human blood sacrifice, guys, I never do things with care. I've always just don't care, just say words. But when I came facing Satan for a very period of time, that's when I understood that he is actually spending time, he spends time on earth torturing people. And I go to church. I read the Bible, but I didn't understand that these things that are written in the Bible exist. So I came to understand that every person's behavior, whatever they do, there is something behind it. So instead of assuming that you know the person, that you know what is going on, go and ask. Then you shall know what is going on. So ask your spouse, ask your family members, your friends, your colleagues. If someone at work, they behave the way, it could be problems at home. And if you go in and fight them, imagine they have big problems at home. And then you fight them. That's why the Bible is against, it says, like, even in personal development, it says you don't know what that person is going through. So imagine you are at work. That person, maybe they've lost someone, or someone, they have a relative that is not well, or maybe they are not well as well. And then you unknowingly blinded and going in and telling that person off, telling them what you think about them. And then after, and they don't tell you what is going on. And then you find out that this person, maybe you don't even get to find out. And then God, one day when you die, He shuts the heaven, He shuts the door for you, send you to the pit. Because Lucifer's hell is the pit of the hell. He sends you to the pit, and then He tells you that you are responsible for my child who needed you, who needed your support, but you made it worse. What would you feel? I'll be too late. So for me, guys, if somebody gives me some attitude, I pause, and then I have to find out what is bringing that attitude. What's the cause of it? And remember as well, sometimes you can't carry other people's problems. You can't. So you have to understand that you can't, when you are going through conflict, if the person does not tell you what is going on, you cannot get into their circumstances and get into depression because they make your life miserable. They can either tell you, explain what is going on, and if they don't, you can pray for them. If they continue disrespecting you, that's when you remove yourself, because you don't want the two people to get into depression. God does not want that. So if I have a problem myself, I will tell somebody, but don't tell everyone your problems. What I've realized about people are something else. Tell people that you trust about your problems. And when you tell them, they will treat you with compassion. But don't just tell everybody. But if you are not okay, let people know that I'm not okay. But I don't feel comfortable explaining what I'm going through. You are allowed to do that. But never ever let people believe that you are okay if you are not okay. Never let your spouse believe that you are okay if you are not okay. Communicate openly and honest. Be honest. Use I statement to express your feelings. I feel a hurt one rather than blaming. Be specific about the issue and avoid bringing up unrelated matter or past. Listen actively. Give the other person time to share their thoughts without interrupting. So that is really, really important. Seek to understand, not to win the argument. It's not all about winning the argument. It's not all about I'm better than this or I'm better than you. It's not all about that. And so it's really approaching the conversation with empathy and willingness to understand, ask clarification to ensure you fully grasp their perspective, focus on collaboration rather than proving who is right or wrong, and with love, conflict, and forgive as well. Forgiveness is really, really, really important when going through conflict. It's really, really, really important. Try to really, really forgive your spouse or forgive your family members or whatever is going on. But whatever you do, never assume that you know what's going on because you don't. I've gone through pain myself and people made their own assumptions. And that made me realize about people. I've learned a lot. For the past 6 years, I was fighting Satan. And some of them telling me that Satan doesn't exist. But then I had to ask myself, like some of them were like, there's no such thing as Satan, there's no such thing as God. And it's unlike, but you asked me to tell you, explain my problem, but then you're telling me that there is no such thing. But for me, it was no longer about the belief. It was almost the Bible has come to life for me. And I didn't know how to deal with it. And I was like, when you read the words and the words come to reality, what do you do? So never ever assume. I'm sharing you guys my story so you can understand the picture that I have. That never ever assume. People, sometimes you'll find that the friends that you have is only one friend that is genuine, or two or three that is genuine. When I was under human blood sacrifice, I went to my friend's wedding. This is the girl that I trusted. This is the girl that I loved. When a friend tried to kill me, but Lucifer was controlling them anyway. It was meant to be a humiliation, a shame. It was meant to be everything, and most of all in front of my children. When someone tries to kill you in front of your children, those moments, they don't go away. It stays with your children. But then when we were solving the conflict, my friend is my friend, that moment she turned against me. And that's when I came to realize what Satan is. And I was like, with disbelief. Like, is this what Satan does? And since that day, if you drag me to any conflict, I run because I don't want to be part of it. That moment made me realize as he controls people to be he. Where there is no problem, he creates problems. And I've lost my friend that we have been friends for a long time. But at the same time, I had to understand that if this person was who they say they are, they wouldn't have done that, they would have stood by me. So I had to understand that sometimes some people are fake, they're not real. Okay. No, I don't know who it was. Hopefully not this. Yeah. So, so sometimes, like I was explaining that sometimes some people are not really people are fake. So don't let it go when you are having conflict, when somebody turns against you, never ever ever make yourself wrong. What you need to do, you need to love with grace. You need to be the person that God created you to be. Establish boundaries and agreement. Clearly define how you both will handle similar situations in the future. Set boundaries to prevent the conflict from escalating, and that is really, really important. Agree on actionable steps to rebuild the trust if necessary. Follow up and recess everything. That's really, really important. To actually solving conflict. You never solve a conflict by fighting somebody. And if that person does not want to have a conversation with you, never ever force somebody to have a conversation with you. Just maybe stop, just leave them alone. When they do want to talk, they want to talk to you. So sometimes relationships are broken because we don't know how to solve the conflict. For me personally, I have I have sat back and watching how Satan works. Satan works like a wrestling match. He will put two people on the cycle just to show them that human beings are fake. He will put two people like in the ring of a wrestling match. Where there is not meant to be a conflict, he will manipulate the minds, and that person will they'll go into a mood of me, and then they will focus on me, not thinking about the other person, and just fight and just fight and just fight. Before you know it, you lose that person. So when someone is not happy with me, firstly, I'll seek to understand how can I serve them moving forward. And also, I tell it because what Satan does, it in Gossip Talk shows, we help our audience find their own voice. But Satan helps to shut the voices. That's his job, it shuts the voice. If somebody has skills of communications, he will use people who are horrible to shut you up. And before you know it, that person will be suffering sickness, self-confidence. They'll be suffering from self-esteem. They'll be suffering from all these different things because he uses people to shut you up. So be aware. When somebody comes and put you down, don't accept it. When I'm saying don't accept it, I'm not saying rise to it. Receive it, sleep on it, and know that everything is gonna work out just fine. Don't rise to it. And don't get into the circumstances of that story. Because when you enter that story, and then you destroy your confidence. I have refused for him to destroy. People say nonsense change when they see me like showing up for myself. Even the person that I love, he was like, you've changed. You are too much. But I hadn't changed. I got to learn how Lucifer works. I sat back, I watched him torture me, I took notes. When it comes, I challenge him. When it comes to relationship with my spouse, he comes in, he will challenge me, he will create a scenario, a story, conflict, I'll take down, I'll write down. I'll write down the notes. And then when I was done, I was like, I made a promise to myself. I am not going to allow him to do that to me no more. And that's why I do what I do, guys. Where there is conflict, I listen to the conflict. If somebody is making me feel wrong, I will tell them off, but not in a nasty way. I will tell them, you do not speak to me like that. If you want me to help you or you want to talk to me, I'm listening. Because his job is to shut the voices, the children's voices. So conflict, if you look at it, how many children go to the schools? How many children who suffer from depression? He shuts them out. And the school will be like, the bullying is so high. Take the Bible. Go to the field, read the Bible. That's how you get rid of it. Relationship, how many relationships that are broken every year? If you go on YouTube, how to resolve conflict, you will find there are people who are confessing that sometimes they work with him. They have to target a certain, if they target a country, they have to destroy certain marriages. So when you are solving conflict, solve it with empathy. And also make sure that you don't get blinded by the me. And just look at the other person's how they feel if they are hurt. Put yourself in their shoes and just listen. The power of listening is amazing. So once you do that, and then dealing with, now we go to the conflict, like the sacrifice. How do you deal with it? Because wherever there is a relationship, whether it's family, or intimacy, or colleagues, or whatsoever, there's got to be self and partner sacrifice, well-being during that conflict, if there is conflict. This is where the other person has to learn how to sacrifice the listening, meaning well-being. How do you engage properly with that person? Offer them reassurance that sacrifice are not sided by mutual beneficial, and sacrificing your time and finding common ground to solve that problem, whatever might be in that relationship, and establishing boundaries and agreements. That is really, really important, to clearly define how you will handle the situation with you and that person. Agree on actionable steps. For me, what helps me in every relationship, guys, what it helps me is when somebody feel unheard. Sometimes some people, they find it annoying because they get into the mood of fighting. They want to fight me hard. They want me to know what they think about me. But I'll go into that mood where, how do I save you? This moment, how do I serve you? I hear you, but how can I serve you as a person? If you are my spouse, you're my king. I am your queen. And for me, I am there to serve you. I am there to honor you. I am there to love you. I am there to care for you. But if there is any chance where I feel that your needs are not fulfilled, So this is where I will stop. Even if you are a friend, my job is to serve you as a friend. My job is to listen. My job is to communicate with you, is to understand your needs so our relationship can grow. And also at the same time, understanding that I'm not perfect. Don't demand perfection from NOMSA because there's no such thing as perfect. So those are the things that I have to understand myself. That if I'm in a relationship and if there is a conflict, my job is to sit down and ask you, how can I serve you? Like when I was going to human blood sacrifice, there were things that I realized that why people wanted to sacrifice you. But it was too big for me to accept it. That, when you know that this is who you are, unapologetic, but sometimes, and then you have that question, why God, why did you choose me to do this? And then you want someone that knows that has gone through that, and you want them to explain, to tell you that things are going to be okay. So I made a decision. Dr. Olukoya was in Northern Ireland, and I was like, let me go. I'm sharing this story, guys, so you can care for your family. So I made a decision that I'm going to go to Northern Ireland and meet Dr. Olukoya face to face. And truly, truly understand why am I the person that I am? Just trying to understand, because there's walked in those shoes, the person that I am. So I needed to understand. So for that day, there were so many things that I've learned. And there was this reassurance, there was this acceptance. And I made that decision that, okay, this is who I am, I need to accept it. And then I come back. Now I've accepted the person that I am. Because sometimes, guys, no matter who we are, there are things sometimes that we find it hard to carry, to accept it that this is who we are. So for me, it was like, okay, I needed to understand, why would somebody want to truly, and also I needed to understand the gift that I carry, that just to accept it, I needed somebody to tell me that I'm going to be okay. But then I got that reassurance, and then I watched Pastor James as well. I met Pastor James online, and I started following him and following Pastor James. This is when everything started falling up into places. But I came to understand that whatever you do in life, there's always going to be people that are going to put you down. And some of those people, they can be responsible of you becoming who you're meant to become, or they can take you out of it. So I came to understand it. I came to accept in my life, this is who I am. I have to accept it. Not I have to, by accepting it with joy. But when you don't make a decision moving forward, and I understood that moment that I did not need to make any decision. What I needed was to wait for God to tell me that it's time. So I just sat back, enjoy the moment. And then people started judging me. You do this, you do that, because of that, you do that. But Nansa was not doing anything. Me, I was just enjoying my business, working. I hadn't made a decision. Nothing. I had not made a decision. Now I'm just coming to terms with who I am. And some days I will have good days, and sometimes I will have Lucifer annoying me. It's those big things that sometimes you just want someone to give you a big hug and tell you that they love you. But people assume, so family members assume But at the end of the day, guys, I'm sharing you this because you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know what the other person, what they are going through, unless you sit down and ask them. My family did not. The only person that I had told it was my mom, and my mom gave me blessings to say, "You are my child. Whatever you become, you have my blessings." I'd spoken to my grandfather, and my grandfather was like, "You are my granddaughter. Whatever you become, we accept it in the family." And that's how I left it. And I was like, okay. And now I was in that situation where I need to sit back, enjoy the moment, and let God be God. Because I don't believe in making big decisions on my own. So I was like, okay, God, let your way be your way. Tell me when you're ready. When you want me to begin your journey, tell me. So I'm just going to sit back, enjoy everything in life, enjoy my life. But people just thought, okay, this is what everyone had the ideas. And that destroyed relationship with my friends, with those that I love. But what I decided to do was to shut up now. And I was like, I'm going to shut up and I'm not going to share who I become with nobody. I'm just going to show up one day, guys, and I'm just going to be, this is who I am. And everyone will be like, okay. But that wouldn't be a surprise. So, and that is my story. And that's why I chose this topic, because I've gone through so much joy in life. I'm a divine child. As the James want me to say, I am a divine child. I am a divine prosperous child. I excel. Those are the things I want me to say all the time, and not negative things. So all I can tell you guys is, when you are solving conflict with your spouse, with your family members, with those that you love at work, never assume. I've been in a situation with Casey as well, where one of the guys in the office, he always goes out and everyone I think is amazing. And I was like, hang on a minute, something is not right. And everyone else, I was like, let me go and ask, is everything okay? I was like, one second, it's not okay. And I was like, well, what's wrong? I find out that the person that is closest to him serious ill. But everybody else is assuming that he's lazy, he's this, that the guy is going through pain. So never ever assume, guys, when you meet someone. I'm learning these things as I'm living in the present moment. I'm learning not to assume about anything. Whatever I think I know, I never assume anything. I put everything in God's hands, because He is the only person that knows the day I was born. He knew me before I was born. He knows the date of my death. He knows the day I'm going to succeed. He knows the challenges that I'm going to face before I even get to my success. So everything else, Satan knows. Monster does not believe in problems. I don't believe in problems, guys. I believe in keep fighting. Whenever the problems are presented to my life, I don't believe in them. I watch them, I fight them, I walk through them. No matter what pain I go through, there's always, if I have to humble myself and put myself down and humble myself, be it. But I know when I do that, I'll walk through that problem and I'll go to the other side and be the woman that God created me to be. It might take 10 years. It might take 5 years. It might take 6 years, but it won't take 100 years. That's what I know, that when you go through the conflict, never ever blame anyone in your life. and seek to understand the roots of the problem. As I'm saying, sometimes it could be bloodline iniquity, the sins of our ancestors, the sins of our parents, our own sins. So for me, is humbling myself and saying to God, I cannot do this on my own. And just seeking help and seek people that are more experienced than I to teach me how to fight the challenges. And I know that when I do that, I go to the other side, I walk through the problems. But some people, they give up. They blame. Never, ever, ever. When you go through problems, if it's a healing that you want, try out for that healing. Never, ever, ever give up. Never, ever tell yourself that it is your identity. That is who you are. No, you are not labeled by problems. Every sickness gets healed. There is no such sickness that God does not heal. There is no such pain that God does not wipe it off. Take it out, wipe away. There is no such a broken heart that God does not heal. There is no such poverty that stays forever. We stay in poverty if we decide to have a relationship with the poverty. If we decide to have a relationship with the stagnation, if we decide to have a relationship with conflict, we stay in that place. But understand that you are not born with conflict. You are not born with problems. So whatever problems that might be, conflict of sickness, God can heal every sickness. He can heal. I am speaking from experience. He can heal. He can heal every sickness. Only you have to believe. He can heal every relationship. The relationships that are not meant to be, guys, don't fight for them to work. But there are some relationships that get broken, they're meant to be. But because that person, they lose their strength, they think they'll find something better. And then when you go to another relationship, you find yourself faced with all the similar problems. All you have to do is to know that I'm going to fight this problem with all my strength. And I'm going to go to the other side. And I'm going to be okay. Know that no friend can fight for you. No, even your mom cannot fight for you. Cannot, your mom has to go through God for healing. Only you can say, you know what? I'm not going to stand in this conflict. I'm not going to stay. How you respond in every situation is the critical component of how your life will look like tomorrow. How you respond. That is what I leave you guys with. Whether you respond through conflict, whether you respond through sickness, whether you respond through anybody, in love. Love. How do you get rid of Satan? Love. Nothing else. Dealing with your problems, dealing with your iniquities, bloodline iniquities, you deal with them and give yourself love. Give love to people around you, and Satan will not let you get pissed off. So all I can say to you guys is how you respond to every problem that you're facing, every conflict that you face. And don't worry about people. People worry about people a lot. I don't have a say in your life. Nobody has a say. People can say the words, what they think, but God has a final say of who you are. God can correct people and say, no, this is my child. He will correct them not by words, by promoting. You make them laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And then you promote When he promotes you, and people will be wondering, what did you do different? Just tell them, what is God? He loves you. So that's what I leave you guys with. That how you respond to every situation is how God is able to promote you, how your life is able to promote you moving forward, how your tomorrow is going to look like. And surround yourself with people that wants best, your best interest, that have your best interest in you, in your life, your well-being, your tomorrow. Don't hang out with people because you want something from them, or you want them to like you, or you want them to tell you, like you hang out with fake people, and knowing that they are fake, that the company is okay. You have one friend and be okay. If you're watching from social media, guys, if you're watching the talk show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, please, we have a group, Unique Billionaire Mindset and Gossip Talk Shows. Join those two groups if you want to be part of family, and share the video. And also on YouTube, please do sign up on YouTube. Be part of the family. Go see Talk Show's family, NOMSA's family. And live with grace, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Remember, how you respond to every conflict is the critical component of how God is able to promote you tomorrow and how your tomorrow is going to look like. Because if you lash out, you fight, God moves away from fight. So you want him closer to you. He is your creator. He creates you this, not people, but he needs people around you to bless you. He blesses you through people, but never ever worry about those who criticize you, because at the end of the day, you know who you are. One NOMSA saying it does not matter. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna love you.